What happens when a legendary figure allows resentment to overpower responsibility is a story the basketball world has watched unfold in real time. And it serves as a cautionary tale about how quickly credibility can collapse when facts are ignored and personal bias takes the wheel. Sheryl Swoopes, once universally celebrated for her contributions to women's basketball, slowly shifted from respected voice to controversial figure as her commentary surrounding Caitlin Clark grew increasingly hostile, repetitive, and detached from reality. What initially appeared to be
she got fired, but it looked like you got fired, bro. It looked like she got fired. I just gotta keep it real. It looked like she got fired.
Being a hater of Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever in Clark's rookie season, even insinuating that players would flee the team because of the attention around the team.
Generational criticism soon crossed the line, evolving into a relentless pattern of dismissive remarks, exaggerated narratives, and outright inaccuracies that went far beyond normal sports debate. Instead of analyzing Clark's game with balance, Swoopes repeatedly questioned her impact, minimized her achievements, and framed her rise as harmful to team chemistry and the league as a whole. A stance that became harder to defend as Clark continued to shatter records, sell out arenas, and attract unprecedented attention to the WNBA. As Clark's popularity exploded, so did the scrutiny on those who spoke about her, and Swoopes' comments began to stand her mistake.
I got off the treadmill and I called her as a friend, and I said, you know, you can say whatever you want. You can have your own opinion about anybody, but you do have to get the statistics right. I mean, facts matter. And if you just get ahead of this and just say, hey, I made a mistake on my numbers, then this thing is over and everybody respects you for your opinion. And, you know, you might like Boston, I might like the Yankees. You know, it's okay to have difference of opinions. Well, she got upset with me on the phone, and I was like, Sheryl, you know, I'm not doing anything to hurt you. I'm just sharing. We're talking. And so our relationship it pretty much is not happening at this point. I tried to talk to her at the Final Four. Right. She didn't want to talk to me. My life's going to be good or great with or without Sheryl Swoopes in my life.
Instead, now for all the wrong reasons. The turning point came when she cited incorrect college statistics and misleading claims about Clark's resume, statements that were easily disproven by publicly available records. This wasn't a matter of interpretation or opinion. It was a matter of verifiable fact. When Hall of Fame guard Nancy Lieberman stepped in to correct the record, doing so calmly and respectfully, it presented Swoopes with a moment of choice. Acknowledge the mistake, clarify the facts, and move forward or double down. Instead of choosing accountability, Swoopes chose confrontation, responding defensively and escalating what could have been a brief correction.
There seems to be some haterade in the league in regards to Clark starting with WNBA legend Sheryl Swoopes herself.
The criticism. That reaction shifted perception dramatically because fans and analysts weren't just seeing disagreement anymore. They were watching a veteran refuse to accept reality when challenged by evidence. The backlash didn't come from casual observers alone. Prominent media figures began addressing the situation openly, with Stephen Smith voicing what many were already thinking, that something deeper than basketball analysis was driving Swoopes' commentary. When Smith questioned why a pioneer of the game would appear intent on tearing down its most marketable new star, it reframed the conversation.
People in the Fever were like,
that's not my point. There's a lot of other shit going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some new shit going on around there.
It's a lot. So you have players that are very significant on this Indiana Fever team that are like, I don't want to be here. This is where I want to be.
Yeah.
Millions of viewers were suddenly encouraged to reconsider Swoopes' motivations. And once that door opened, her past behavior came back into focus. Patterns that might once have been overlooked were now viewed as part of a consistent issue rather than isolated incidents. Every time Swoopes spoke about Clark after that, her words were dissected not just for insight, but for bias, and the more she pushed back against criticism, the weaker her position became. What made the situation more damaging was that Clark herself never engaged in the drama. she continued to play, improve, and handle the pressure with composure far beyond her years. While debates raged on television and social media, Clark's performance on the court spoke louder than any commentator.
And then, obviously, you guys remember last year when Dallas had to pretty much say, hey, you can't broadcast the Indiana Fever game after the little comments and things you had the game before. Or something like that. Yeah, I believe it was that. And Nancy Lieberman was the one who pretty much confronted Cheryl Swoops about the whole situation and let her know, like, hey, you know, we got to keep it this, we got to keep it that. Keep it about basketball.
The WNBA. Her presence boosted attendance, television ratings, merchandise sales, and general interest in the league, drawing in casual fans who had never watched a WNBA game before. Instead of celebrating that growth, Swoop's commentary increasingly sounded like resistance to change, as though the league's evolution threatened the status of those who came before. That perception resonated with fans, especially younger ones, who began to view Swoops not as a guardian of the game's history, but as an obstacle to its future. As criticism mounted, the league itself could no longer ignore the situation. Broadcasters are representatives of the product, and when a commentator repeatedly spreads misinformation or appears openly hostile toward the league's biggest attraction, it creates a problem that extends beyond individual opinion. The WNBA had invested heavily in expanding its audience, building new stars, and reshaping its public image, and allowing a prominent broadcaster to undermine that effort from within was a risk they ultimately decided they could not afford. When Swoops was quietly removed from assignments related to Indiana Fever games, many assumed it was a limited corrective measure, an attempt to reduce conflict without escalating matters further. That assumption turned out to be wrong. Instead of a partial adjustment, the league made a sweeping decision, removing Swoops from all broadcasting duties across the board. It was a decisive move that signaled a broader concern than just one team or one player. By cutting ties completely, the WNBA made it clear that the issue wasn't simply about Caitlin Clark, but about professionalism, accuracy, and trust. Broadcasting requires credibility, and once that credibility is compromised, restoring it becomes extremely difficult. The decision sent shockwaves through the basketball community, not because Swoops had been criticized, but because the league chose to act in a way that left no ambiguity about where it stood. As news of her removal spread, fans revisited Swoops' history, drawing parallels between her broadcasting controversy and earlier issues from her coaching career. During her time at Loyola University Chicago, reports had surfaced alleging a toxic environment and mistreatment of players, culminating in an investigation and her eventual building them up.
That she mistreated players.
It was the environment she created. I was belittled, humiliated, made to feel extremely small.
Head coach since 2013.
Competition
year,
or passion,
5 of her
but
players.
control and an inability to accept pushback. Fast forward to the present, and that same pattern seemed to repeat itself, only on a much larger stage. Instead of college athletes with limited platforms, the target was the most visible player in women's basketball, someone whose every move was scrutinized and celebrated by a rapidly growing audience. The stakes were higher, the exposure greater, and the consequences far more severe. By choosing to attack rather than adapt, Swoops placed herself in opposition not just to Clark, but to the momentum of the entire league. And momentum, once it builds, rarely stops for anyone. Perhaps the most striking development came after Swoops' broadcasting removal, when her public tone began to shift dramatically. Suddenly, the same player she had spent months criticizing was being praised. The same team she had labeled dysfunctional was now
We've got a Cheryl Swoops switch up. I think, either you get on the bandwagon or you get left behind.
described as exciting and well-constructed. On the surface, this change might have been framed as growth or reflection, but to many fans, the timing made it impossible to ignore the context. The praise arrived only after professional consequences had already landed, creating the impression not of genuine reconsideration, but of damage control. Screenshots and clips of her earlier comments circulated widely, juxtaposed against her new statements. making it clear that this wasn't a minor adjustment in perspective, but a complete